Good morning everyone, how are we all? Hope you're having a lovely week. Today is currently Monday the 24th of March and today is Chad's birthday. I mentioned his birthday a few videos ago, I think it was maybe when we were in the Cotswolds, and a few of you were annoyed that I didn't mention it was Chad's birthday, but when you get older, and especially Chad, he likes to celebrate his birthday for around 2 weeks. So we have like a few occasions or a few activities that we do before the actual big day. But today is his birthday. Chad is in the office today, and what I've done for him is the other week I booked him a massage at Dalesford in the Cotswolds, which was really lovely. And today I thought I'd just book us a nice theatre show to go and see. So we're going to go and see Moulin Rouge later, and they've also booked us dinner to go back to Oma, which is the restaurant in Borough Market, for dinner before we go to see the show. We never go to the theatre, and I feel like we don't really utilise being in London that much. So really excited to go to the theatre. Hopefully Chad likes Moulin Rouge. I just booked the show with like the best reviews. I got quite good seats for not a lot of money, so hopefully they're not restricted views. But yeah, I'm really excited to go to the show. Hopefully he likes it. I will take you with us for as much as I can. But today I've just popped to get Chad like a little present. I got him a pair of clogs. Birkenstock do these basically like sandals. They're suede with like a closed toe. I find these so comfy. Chad actually bought himself a pair of clogs last year, which I have claimed as my own. So I thought I would buy him a nice chocolate suede colour, and he can have them, and I promise I won't pinch them off him. So again, I'm sure he'll love them because he was looking at buying them himself. So that's a little present I got for him. I'm going to go to Moulin Rouge later, but first I'm going to try and make him a birthday cake. So let's go and try and make, I think I might have done this before, but a coffee, pistachio and cardamom. I know he likes coffee cake, so maybe I do all three, or maybe I just try and make a coffee cake, I'm not too sure. Let me try and find some recipes online, and then we can go start baking and get his cake ready for his birthday. It's currently, what time is it? It's currently 2 o'clock, and I need to leave here by, what, like 4:30? So I've got 2.5 hours to bake a cake and finish off the rest of the things I need to do today. So without further ado, let's get going. Right, hopefully this cake is going to be a quick one. I've chosen a Nigella Lawson coffee and walnut cake, but I don't have any walnuts. So we're just going to substitute that either for pistachios maybe, or I might just leave out the nuts completely. This is why I love Nigella, sorry. Nigella has such good recipes. Normally, they're really convenient. So I made one a while ago, I think, with you guys. It was like a flourless chocolate orange cake, and all you had to do was bungle the ingredients into a food processor and it just does it itself basically. You just have to pour it into the baking tray and it bakes. This was by coincidence. I found it an exact same recipe method, but for coffee cake. So this is going to dramatically reduce the time of baking that I need to do. So I'm going to bung everything into my little Ninja food processor. I do have this attachment that I think is for baking. There's one that's like a blade, and there's this one which I think is for mixing and, you know, kneading, I guess. So I'll leave the recipe link down below, but I'm not going to take too long explaining how to make a cake. I'm pretty sure we all know how to do that. So yeah, let's get started making this coffee and walnut cake without walnuts. I'm just gonna have to pause baking for a second because I would love to know whether anyone else's partner is like this. I knew we had coffee, like instant coffee in the cupboards because we don't use it. So we bought some the other day and I was going to make a coffee cake and I knew it was in the cupboard. Chad will literally chuck out anything that we don't use. So because we don't normally have it and don't normally use it, he thinks that it's a waste. So it goes in the bin. So now I can't make the coffee cake with instant coffee, which is really annoying. But please let me know, is anyone else's partner like this? Just chucks things away and then you're just like wondering where it is. So infuriating. So if his coffee cake does not taste of coffee, it's his own problem. I'm gonna make an espresso with a coffee machine and just add espresso to the cake, but sometimes it's not as strong. Let me know down below, guys. Right, so we have finished at the Samsung event and I'm just walking around Marylebone now. And I've stumbled across those really pretty Muse houses. So I will turn around and show you guys now. I think I'm allowed to walk here. It says public, not private property. So really beautiful, different coloured Muse houses. I think I'm just going to do a little walk around Marylebone and see what's here basically. I've never really explored it, so let's get on with it. Down to Regent Street. I want to pick up some linen shirts. I also might go to Suit Supply and try and pick up some new trousers. So let's go shopping. As I'm editing this video, I've realised I've missed out a few days in the week. I think either on Wednesday or Thursday, Chad and I went to Piglet in Bed's new season collection release. It's called The Tales of Aunt Rose. And when I say to you, the bedding that Piglet in Bed offers is absolutely beautifully designed and created. I'll overlay some images and some shots of when we went. Yeah, the bedding is absolutely beautiful. The event was so lovely. It was probably one of the nicest displays of a collection I've seen because it was actually in someone's house. It was in a lady called Sarah's house and she has her own Instagram account. I'm sure most of you will recognise this house because it's actually quite Insta famous, but it was really beautiful. Piglet in Bed had basically taken over the whole house and they have all of their beddings on display, all their throws, all their blankets, and they do such an incredible job of creating patterns that really cohesively go together. So there's lots of ginghams, there's lots of stripes, there's lots of everything basically, lots of textures. And if you haven't checked out Piglet's collection, definitely do so. It is quite expensive, but it's definitely an upmarket premium bedding. So I will leave Piglet linked below, but I thought I'd just give some backstory as to why there's no talking in this. But yeah, I'll put that in now. And then the day after Piglet, I'm actually working with a brand at the moment, which probably a lot of my UK audience will recognise. But we actually got to go into a house in London in Borough Market, and I'll also include that now because this house is absolutely beautiful. I will just explain, this is not an ad, however, I am working with them. So yeah, if you see me in a few weeks' time with some work, it should all make sense to you. But yeah, I'm gonna pop in those videos now because I would love for you guys to see this house. It's a London townhouse. It's stunning. It's in a really lovely location. The garden was designed by a gold medalist Chelsea Flower winner. It speaks for itself. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Right, so Chad and I have just gone for lunch after our Piglet in Bed event, and I think we're going to head on home now. We've walked around East Dulwich and Dulwich Village.
Yeah.
So, guys, we're exploring South London.
Yeah.
That's what we'll say. It's actually really pretty around here. So, quite a few big Victorian houses. These are the smaller ones on this street, but we've walked down a few streets and absolutely huge, really beautiful gardens at the front, really lovely houses. So yeah, we're going to probably head on back home now, and I don't really have anything planned. Do you have anything planned? No?
It's quite I think we have gardening stuff to do.
We do have a bit of gardening stuff. I also haven't shown you guys the cake I made for Chad's birthday.
It doesn't exist.
It's air. I'm going to show you guys in a second when we get home. But yeah, I'll sign back in.
It's a flan.
It's literally a flan, or what they called a frisbee. Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Apologies for missing Thursday's video. I think we need to have a conversation about how many videos per week I am actually managing to do. And I think realistically, I think for the next few weeks at least, I'm going to have to move to one a week. So I'm thinking once a Sunday, a nice long vlog, mixture of house like we normally do, mixture of house, what we get up to, all that sort of stuff. But my schedule, I'm not gonna lie, it's very busy. This week has been manic. I think I've been to like 4 different events. I've had like 4 different jobs that I've been doing. And life has just caught up. So for the next few weeks, let's test once a week. Again, let me know your thoughts. And I know that might disappoint some of you because some of you really enjoy the twice weekly videos. But But yeah, I think just because my brain cannot cope with any more stuff, we're going to have to move to once a week on a Sunday, a nice weekly catch up. Let me know your thoughts. Today is Saturday, and it's the first day this week where we haven't really had anything in the diary. So we thought we'd start it off quite leisurely, and then we've just got carried away with things, and I forgot to pick up the camera. So right now we're actually out the front of our house, and we've decided to put little like flower boxes down our street. We've lived here for 3 and a little bit years now, and our street is lovely. It's very lovely. It's lined with trees, but there are no flowers. Some of the streets across from us all have like communal flower gardens, herb gardens, sort of like veg troughs. So we thought, why not make our street nice? We've got, you know, nice little street, let's make it prettier. So we've planted some plants around the trees. We've made like little picket fences, painted them white, and we actually have got one more to do. So I thought we'd make it with you. And then there are a few things we need to do in the garden. I want to actually focus on the side alley today and get all the, I don't know what it's called, like the part of the wall at the bottom where it's rendered, like the damp proof coursing. I want to paint that white, tidy up the side alley, tidy up the garden, get going. So without further ado, let's get started on Saturday, and then I might have to pop in bits from the week that I've filmed, but we'll see how we go. So let's go get started at the front, and let me show you what we're doing to create our little flower beds. So this is one of the like planters we've created. I think it looks quite cute. We've gone for like a white picket fence sort of esque look, and we've planted some erysimum, some sedum, some erigeron, and some, I think they're called dianthus, just to make the street a little bit more bee friendly. Let me take you over to the one that Chad's doing right now, because he's finishing off planting another one across the street. So let me take you there. Okay, so this is another one that we've done across the road. We're actually using bin bags at the moment because we haven't got any nice like lining for the size of them, but we will replace that with something prettier. Hopefully you can hear me because it's very windy. It's so windy, but this one I've just popped in with my nail gun. We need to paint this one white still. But this one again is looking really lovely. We've got some erigeron that I think is passing away. Some erysimum, which is really good for like butterflies and bees. Some lavender, which obviously bees love. Some sedum, which when it flowers is really pretty. Bees
That's like
love.
crack cocaine for bees.
It's literally crack for bees, yeah. And then we've got some more sedum over here, some more erysimum. That is quite close to that one, by the way.
Show them this one there. Yeah.
And then let me just show you a third one. And then I think this one is our favourite. For some reason, it just looks really cute. It's on like a really nice cherry tree. But we've got some of my lovely little, I can never remember what these are called. Wire hair ivy or something like that, I can't remember. And then wire vine, I think they're called. Lavender. And we've got some dianthus again. We've got some sedum in this corner, some erysimum, and also some periwinkle, which is what our neighbour has requested. So this one is really pretty, and when they take off should look really lovely. There is also one down the street that we're going to build now. So I've just been cutting away all of these little picket fences. I've created 3 of them that are the right size for the last tree that we're going to do. So I'm just going to cut this one with you, assemble it, and then show you the process of how we're making our street a tiny little bit more bee friendly than it normally is. So
Pretty and bee friendly.
Pretty and bee friendly. Pretty being the key point. Obviously, we want to help the bees.
If you go to a lot of places in London, a lot of people do this around the tree, but they don't often like they don't do it like this.
Yeah, sorry.
So what I'd say, I think this is genuinely the best tree gardens I've seen.
I was saying on the other streets across from us, they have like,
Just like wooden
not that this
planks.
is like the most, but like I really like how it looks. We put moss in this one as well, because obviously this is outside our house, so we want it to look a bit nicer.
It's a bit American inspired. We wanted the
It's
sort
very
of
like
white,
wisteria lane.
white picket fence, and then the white and purple colour scheme.
Yeah.
And again, everything being bee friendly. So
Everything is bee friendly.
don't
We
compromise.
might we might have to replace these because I'm not sure if they are.
So
the
I
best
googled
for
today,
bees.
white carnations are really good for bumblebees.
Great,
Yeah.
great.
And honeybees.
And I just know that bees absolutely love sedum. So, and these sort of like ground cover quite quickly, don't they? I think. Not too sure. I'm sure I'll be corrected on in my comments. But yeah, let's go build this last one. Right, good morning everyone. We are currently on the day after. Yesterday, like I said, we finished making those flower beds. So that's... Sorry, Chad's just playing around with the doorbell because it seems to be not working. But yesterday we finished off those flower beds. I think in total, Chad, do we have 5 or 6?
On the street?
On the street. 5. So we've done our fair share of community gardening. I always show the side alley in our garden, and it's an area that we're really, I don't know, it's a bit of a waste of space. So we put some bathtubs down there, we've made it look pretty, but there are just some things we need to do to make it like basically finished. And one of them is painting the damp-proof course. We need to paint that because when we had our like Tyrolean removed from the back of the house, we had it re-rendered at the bottom and it's always just been a grey. Obviously we need to paint it blackened by Farrow and Ball, which is the colour on the front of our house on the bay window, and it's also on the back of the house on our like render. So instead of just talking nonsense to you guys, I'm going to show you what we're going to do today, and today's going to be my little painting project outdoors because it's nice weather, so let's go and do that. So back of the house, this is the colour we're going to be painting at the side alley. Like I mentioned, it's blackened by Farrow and Ball. If I take you around here, you can kind of see this part down here needs to be painted. We are going to get our, this is really TMI for YouTube, but we are going to get this massive pipe replaced because it's not the prettiest, and we're probably going to do a lot of tidying up around here. But for the time being, it's obviously here, it looks quite gross, but we're going to make this bit a bit prettier by painting all the way along here. And then I also think I need to paint, yeah, this windowsill. So I'm probably going to sand this, paint it, make it look a little bit prettier, but all of this needs to be done. But yeah, all of this needs to be painted. So that is my job for the day. Also, a little update on my plants. We have some oregano and some sage here, doing really well. This is fully shaded, and everyone was saying that nothing was going to grow here, but I think it loves being here, if I'm honest. And then this is my my prized possession, my Angelica. I am not sure what I'm going to do with this, but I know probably in a few weeks' time, these offshoots here are going to flower and create these really beautiful flowers that I'm going to use as cut flowers in our house. So I know you can use the root for Angelica, but if anyone knows what to do with it or any recipes or something, I'm not sure if you can eat it, but please do let me know. And again, this one, I did mention a few weeks ago, I'm going to rejig this, make it look a bit prettier, but these viburnums are really nice smelling. They smell like jasmine, so I might try and use these somewhere else in the garden, but they're not right for this bed. Oh, and also just a little update of the end of the garden. I've placed all the chairs like this. Sorry, there's a bit of mud on the floor because I was just moving around all the plants, but here are where Chad's tomato plants are going to go. We're going to have one this side and then one on this side, and hopefully that's enough room for them, I guess. I would like to get some other things like some side tables, pop some lamps on there when we're out here, and make it look nice and pretty. We did have this, what they called a fire pit on here, which has caused a bit of a stain. Hopefully the camera's picking this up, but I also need to order some cleaner from Amazon for this because obviously it's not ideal. We are also going to remove this coffee table and change it up. We just found this in, we found it I think at Kempton Antiques Market. It's a really lovely green marble slab. Probably not what we want long term, but it's a good option, and it has been a good option for the last year and a half, 2 years. But yeah, this is going to change slightly. I think furniture might also be changing. Not too sure yet, but yeah, this fire pit has caused a ruckus. Also, excuse the state of this linen shirt, but we're now what I like to call in linen shirt season. So I need to start ironing them, but basically I've just pulled this one out of the cupboard because it's my old one. I did actually do some shopping the other day, and I bought some nice linen shirts, which I will share with you because I think they're a really good option. But yeah, ignore the creases for now. Let's go down the side alley. I've got my tub of blackened Farrow and Ball. This is in a, I don't know what the finish is. It says 15-year exterior masonry. Obviously it's a masonry paint, it's weatherproof, outdoor proof. And it's lasted really well on this wall here. It's quite bright and quite crisp, so I think it'll be perfect for the side alley as well. I don't really know what the nicest angle for this is going to be, so let me try and figure this out. Okay, what we're going to do first. What I'm going to do first is just brush all of this because there are quite a few cobwebs. And cobwebs and paint do not go together very well, so I'm just going to clean this really quickly and then we'll get to painting. Okay, also, whilst I'm here, for some reason I have a spare one of these, so I'm going to replace this with a nice fresh one. Good old drain guard. This one has been in place for a while, so let's make it look a bit prettier. But yeah, I'm just going to move these stones out of the way. I've also just decided that I don't want this. This gutter above here is like ruining our window. I think the roof of this needs to be redone, so I think I'm just going to literally take this out. It's not serving any purpose, so it's gone. Oh, that's proper in the wall. It's gross. I'm not gonna lie, that looks quite bad now. So I don't know if you can see that, but I think I've made it look worse. Let me take you over there. It was actually, the gutter was hiding the fact that our window is in quite a bad condition. You can see the wood and the felt and stuff. That's probably why we have a bit of a leak on the inside.
Yeah.
And I reckon that is probably why, because we've never seen that before. So this, unfortunately, is another job.
Yeah.
But it's fine because we need to get this pipe replaced, so. But yeah, that's not even like.
Jobs. Yeah, we'll have to.
Yeah, sorry, I've now turned this into a complete other job. I just want to take these like brackets out. Gosh. The amount of dust. Someone's ruined these screws. There you go. Oh, well, that's literally not even attached. Delightful. Well, that can be a job for another day, can't it? Back to painting. It's gone all in my eyes. I'm such a man that I've just taken off a gutter. Love that. As I'm doing this, Chad's just sunbathing in the back garden. Right, so this is not my finest hour of painting. The issue is with this render is it's not a straight line, so I've painted the first coat and I'll let it dry and then I'll go in to like fill in all the cracks, but it looks a lot better when you stand back, just not inspecting it up close. I'm now going to move on to doing the windowsill in the exact same colour, exact same paint. Again, I'm not going to be too fussy with this because I think one day this window is probably going to disappear. So I'm just going to do a quick coat on it, sand it down maybe, try and get all these little bits off. But I want to see what it looks like without putting too much effort in first. So let's now give that a go. That's taken me 3 years to do that, so it's a little bit better at least. Right, so I finished in the side alley. It doesn't look amazing, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, we didn't realise how like bumpy the render was.
Yeah.
But better than great.
Yeah, I also think, I don't know if you want to mention this, but we were talking to a neighbour down the road who's getting their side extension done whilst we were doing those flower beds. Flower beds? I don't know what you call them, like community flower beds outside the front of the house. Tree gardens. And they're getting a side extension, and I think Chad's going to get the details of the guy just to get a quote possibly to do a side return.
I think it's a big regret because
it's not. I wouldn't say it's a regret because we didn't plan to have it at the time.
No, but I regret not planning to have it at the time. But to be honest, we had to move in early as well. Like I don't think it would have made sense. But
if you don't know what I'm talking about, the side alley, side return is like extending, so we might get a little.
Basically means our kitchen and dining room would be one big open plan, and then the door and the back garden would be more French doors that sort of slide. So it just gives you a bit more space in your house
as well. As you can tell, Chad wants to talk to you about his.
So I don't want to talk to you, that you want me to talk to you about the wine. But I noticed a few people mentioned they hadn't seen one in a while, and we tried some really good wines. So this week we went to a local wine shop, to a tasting. I've got to know the team there really well, and they now kind of understand better what I like. And this was one they recommended, and honestly, I think this is one of the best red wines I've had to date. Now, if you're a proper wine snob, you might laugh at that because there's better ones, but it's an Australian and it's a red. Now, I'm not a big fan of Australian wines. I don't drink a lot of them, neither do we. Not to say they're not good, just that no one's recommended one that is, well, taking a fancy, yeah, good. But this one was out of this world. I'll bring it in just a little bit.
I'll try and put the name on the screen if you can't see it.
But it's called Yarra Yering. Now, I've been to Australia and I've been to Melbourne, and there is a suburb in Melbourne called Yarra, or South Yarra, and I'm assuming it's from there. But anyway, this is the Underhill vintage of 2015, so it's got a good age to it. Oh yeah, Yarra Valley, Australia. There you go. And I know a lot of Australians watch us. I keep seeing Australia everywhere. So this is one. Now, it's not cheap. It's about £60 a bottle. I assume it's cheaper in Australia. But the usual things, so like dark fruits like plums, blackcurrants, sort of chocolate, leather, tobacco. But what was really interesting about this one is it's really perfumey. So you really sort of taste the oak first and then the perfume after. But honestly, you can get this in the UK. It's not cheap, but for something special, this is genuinely one of the best red wines I've had this year, probably to date. and it's £60. Usually when I drank a lot of wines at that price, they're not worth it.
No.
This is worth it. So yeah, I recommend this one.
There's lots of sediment on this one. It's a 2015, isn't it? So like,
yeah, I don't know if you can see, but
there's lots of, and also the cork broke in this one because it's
yeah,
so old.
Thing is, it's not even that old. Like, it's 2015.
Yeah, it's not that old.
I don't think the cork should have broke, but it did, and I had to like cheesecloth it sort of out. But yeah, I'll stop on that one, but really good.
And the next one, I think Chad is going to do another red, possibly. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is another red. This is an Italian one. You're gonna have to say this.
No, your pronunciation was it last week? I can't remember.
Oh,
the tomatoes.
Yeah, the
I can't remember
Fiorentina ones. I don't know. But anyway, this is a Brunello de Montalcino.
I look like you're waiting for me because you're like,
I need approval, but this is a 2018, so it's a little bit younger, so it will be sort of lighter red, slightly in colour. It is from Montalcino in Italy. I'm assuming that's northern Italy. I think so.
I'm not good with geography.
This was lovely. Now, I'm kind of lazy on this one. I haven't researched it too much, but it tasted quite similar to the Yara. I'd say it lacked the perfume, it more had the oak. Again, really dark fruits, just really punch in the finish, just really delicious, and it's about half the price of that one. So I'd recommend trying them both, but if you weren't able to stretch the more expensive one at about £30 a bottle, this is one of the best £30 reds I've drank to date. I'll bring it a little bit closer, and again, we'll link it in the description, but we both love this one as well. So yeah, very good recommendations from our local wine shop. 2 ones I highly recommend getting. And then we have a white as well. And last but not least is the Clos Bilan. Bilan? It's French. Bilan.
I'd say Bilan.
Yeah.
Clos Bilan.
Anyway, Clos Bilan. And this is the Marsan Resurrection, and it is a 2022. Now, it is a Côte d'Aron, so from, correct me if I'm wrong, southern France. Pretty sure. Someone will come for me. But this is a white, I should say, it's not a red. Now, I do like southern French whites. Again, always been a fan of Chardonnays, especially the oaky ones. The first thing to say about this bottle was just the colour.
Really
it was
dark,
one of the most beautiful colours of white wine, just really dark yellow with sort of hints of orange in the colour. Really stood out. In terms of the flavour, a lot of oak in there. It wasn't really subtle. It was quite punchy on the French oak barrels. And it really had that sort of creamy texture that you come to expect in a...
Chardonnay?
No.
A Chablis?
Chablis.
Chablis.
Chablis are famously quite creamy and delicious. This really had that mix of sort of cream, oak, and even a bit of toffee. It had a bit kind of toffee texture to it as well. So again, this is about £20 a bottles and a steal. Like some of the wines I've had lately that I thought were more okay were double the price, really not that impressive. This one, worth every penny. Really hard to buy. I've looked online, it's not the easiest thing to find. But my God.
I'd say most of these wines are quite hard to buy though.
Yeah.
If you don't have like an independent wine shop near you,
That's the thing. There are websites I'd recommend, like wine shops. There is Theatre of Wine. They're amazing. They're in London, UK. They ship. Theatre of Wine is brilliant. There's the Jacobom.
The one we went to in
it's called like
Hampstead.
Jacobom or something.
Jeroboam, I think.
Jeroboam. But there's one in Hampstead. We really need to do our research before we like to just chat. So, but yeah, Jeroboam was really good. There's a shop in Hampstead, and I know they've got ones in London as well. And Wine Society is pretty good, which is like...
Obviously, you've never bought anything from...
No, but they do have a big selection.
They do have a good selection, yeah. You really bought once from them.
But the problem is a lot of these wine shops are struggling because since Brexit, so since the UK left the sort of trade market of Europe, easiest way to explain it, there's just a high cost in importing from Europe, and it takes longer because there's more bureaucracy. So I remember I was looking to get wine directly from the vineyard that I like, and it was going to cost basically double just to import it in.
As much as the bottle of wine.
As much as the bottle of wine.
Equally, yeah,
so I don't know how they're getting a profit whatsoever, but yeah, support your local wine shops if you can.
Yes, indeed. But they are the 3, so 2 reds and 1 white.
Please do try it. If I can do one, I promise
it was very nice, yeah.
I promise you will see it's worth every penny. And then for the summer and spring, for that really white crisp that you want, really recommend this one. I think that will go down a treat as well.
you know what we need to get better at as well? Pairings with food. Because I feel like our food, we cook, I will say we cook quite well.
Yeah.
Chad wants to say he cooks quite well. But I think where we could improve is pairing wines, because I think that's where the nice hosting comes from.
I think we're quite good with pairing with red meat, because it's quite easy to do. But when it comes to things like fish and chicken and Asian food, you can pair.
Like curries and stuff,
I actually like going to a restaurant where they do it for you.
Yeah, I love that.
You pay for the extra for the pairing. I think something we didn't discuss that we didn't want to make a big deal of, because it's personal, it's private, and ultimately it took us weeks to be able to even say his name without bursting into tears. And we also don't want to be those people that use sad moments and death as some sort of pull factor to get views and things. It's not our style. But we do respect that some of you are maybe still not even aware that Dougal, our dog, our Shar-Pei, is no longer with us. Dougal was about to be 5 this year, but sadly didn't make it that far. The reason we're telling you about it is because we know that Dougal was very present in our videos. Like, he was in loads of our videos, many of you came to like him, and I think it's only fair that we give you a little explanation as to what happened. So. And cut in at any minute, but essentially Dougal is a Shar-Pei, which is a Chinese breed of dog, and we weren't the most clued up people 5 years ago when it came to pets. We sort of saw one, we fell in love with the breed, and we got one, and we should have spent a lot more time researching the problems that they can have. Like many dogs, especially kind of full pedigree dogs that haven't been sort of bred with other dogs, they're prone to problems like any, and Shar-Peis tend to be prone to a few more than most dogs. And Dougal was actually diagnosed with kidney disease. Now, it came on really sudden, and when I mean sudden, I mean he was perfectly fine, normal eating, big personality, and then over the space of 3 weeks he lost all appetite and stopped eating. He lost a huge amount of weight. He was vomiting every day. There was blood in his stool, there was all the sort of things you look out for, but he also just lost all personality and all energy. Something was clearly not right. We took him to the vet and they wanted to hospitalise him, mostly on the basis that he's not eating and he would need to be force-fed. And after taking his bloods, doing a scan, they were able to confirm that he was at stage 3 of kidney disease. Now, there's only 4 stages, and usually going from stage 4 is death. There's no way to reverse kidney disease. It was chronic. It was always going to result in his passing. Some dogs survive 100 days, 200 days, a year from stage 3 to 4. Dougal went from 3 to 4 in weeks.
The issue with Dougal as well is he was on as Shar-Peis, like Chad said, have a lot of issues. So he always had a skin issue. Since he was a puppy, he was on a medicine called Apoquel, which could cause issues like that as well. So like there was a conversation that we had with the vet, and they basically couldn't tell us whether it was a chronic issue or whether it was like an acute issue caused by something not like within his body. But basically, once they'd done the scans, they told us that I think more than 70% of his kidney was completely shut down, not being able to like function. And the issue as well was it was going into his liver and his stomach, so his stomach was severely enlarged, inflamed, and his liver was like really bad as well. So they basically couldn't do anything.
And he wasn't eating. Like they were literally having to put a tube and force him to eat. So the vet, who was amazing, basically we put Dougal in. He was in hospital for 2 days. We were asked to come in for an update after those 2 days, and in the nicest possible way, she basically said his time has come. She said obviously we could continue to keep him going, but that was only going to make him in more pain, where he'd have tubes forcing him to eat. He would be having his bloods taken constantly. He would be hospitalized the entire time. It would have been horrible for him, and he was already at stage 4. There's no way to reverse it. It will only get worse. So we made that, I think, the most horrible decision I've ever had to make on the spot to put your...
And also, there wasn't even any way to treat it, not to reverse it. So, we couldn't have treated it, which was a real shame. But yeah, that's...
But the good news is we did it on our terms.
Yeah.
So we got to take him out for a walk and spend, you know, an hour or so with him. We took him around the area, kind of gave him lots of treats. You know, it was nice. We were there the whole time. We also had some family come and see him off as well. So he was surrounded by kind of everyone that loved him. But yeah, we don't need to go into more detail than that, but that's essentially what happened.
Yes, indeed.
Now it's time for wine.
Lots of wine has been consumed in the past month. I'm going to go finish tidying up the garden really quickly now. It's actually looking really lovely, so I might show you guys.
Oh, should we show them the cloche, the hose and
the new hose? We have a new hose and a new watering can. I did show you, if you follow me on Instagram, I did show you a few weeks ago when we went to Burford, some of these bits, but we actually picked them up. This watering can is a classic heritage green.
Yes.
Heritage Green, I think it's called.
From Hawes.
From Hawes. It's a really good, like staple British watering can company.
The way, we'll have to show, but the way the water comes out on this
it's
is
really
stunning.
pretty, yeah.
We'll actually show you in a second.
What are these called? Like a rose. They come with a really lovely brass rose. Do you know what size this is?
It's just one size. Oh no, you get the smaller one.
I thought, but yeah, it's a really lovely watering can. Yeah. And then we also bought a hose, which we have mixed opinions on.
Yeah, so the watering can is the best I've ever bought. Like, it's about £135, but it's handmade in Britain. It's a lovely British company, and the quality of it is insane. So, highly recommend that. The hose, we will show you it in a second. What I would say is it looks amazing, right? It's a beautiful green premium rubber, really nice gold sort of brassware on it, but it's just not practical. Like,
it's very practical.
It's really hard to maneuver and move around the garden. It constantly gets tangled and clogs, and the hose itself, like there's a few options to like get it out in different ways, and it just spurts out, and
it's really odd. As you turn it on, it sprays like a mist, and then to get it to like a straight sort of stream of water, you have to turn it all the way to the other end, so it just is a bit counterintuitive. But let's go and show you that now, because it doesn't look as nice, because I need to fix it properly onto the like aluminium thing, but we'll go and show you now, so let's go and have a look. So excuse the mess, this is where we got our outdoor tap fitted. I don't think I've ever shown this, but we didn't have an outdoor tap before. This is said hose.
Don't you dare squirt me.
It's not on, but this thing is just really odd, so we might have to get a shower head attachment, like a nice brass one. I might look online for it. The hose itself is lovely. It's obviously quite dirty because I've been painting everything.
It's again, it's a heritage green, but it's really nice. You can tell it's kind of a premium rubber. It is nice.
It looks nice against the yellow stone as well. And they've also got like a galvanised aluminium, you can't really see it, hose reel. I need to fix this because it doesn't look very aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, but it will look lovely when it's all...
when it's all clean and all like
but
styled.
Would I recommend buying it?
No, not for the cost of it.
I just don't. Yeah, £150, and it's just not practical.
Some of you did actually mention Gardena, who we have their snippers for, their secateurs. They come with like a wall-mounted thing that they can like spin, and it's like a retractable one. So if we don't like this, I'm going to order that one.
Yeah, there we go. Last but not least, I'm going to take you outside to see the tree beds that we've done on the streets. I think don't think we've done a close-up, so we'll show that now.
Welcome to the front of the house. I want to show you guys the flowers because these wisteria flowers are insane.
I counted 43 flowers. Yeah, last year we had 13 flowers on our wisteria, and this year we have 43.
And they're all starting to come out, which is really lovely. This, I think, is a wisteria sinensis prolific, I think. I think it's a prolific wisteria, so it's nice purple flowers. There are so many heads on these, it's insane. I know Chad took you here last week and showed you, but...
These are my pride and joy.
These are Chad's pride possession. Prized possession, not pride possession. And then also these roses here. These are I want to say Claire Austin. There is actually a thing on the bottom. Let me double check.
They are climbing roses, and they all should be white in colour.
Yeah, they are. They're all, I think they're Claire Austins. Yeah, Claire Austin. So they're a climbing rose. They're nice pale white in colour. I think they're slightly pinkier white than a cream white, but they're really lovely. I actually need to hang these up with another, what are they called? String, transport. And then also the lavender as well.
Our big lavender shrub.
This was planted last year, I think 9-centimetre pots, like they were tiny.
It was about 20% the size it is now.
I'd say less than that. It was absolutely tiny. It was like the little ones that come like this.
No, so it was the extra ones we got at the gardening club. It was the bigger one.
No, this is lavender intermediate cross though, so this is a bigger type of lavender, and this one as well.
And obviously our hydrangea Annabelles on the front are very much leafing away, as well as the alliums.
Yeah, the alliums, they're a bit...
The verbena is even coming up as well.
We also have a peony here. I need to...
A random peony. I also noticed in the back as well.
I know. So I think I've shown you guys before, and I think Chad might have shown you as well, but this is our flatbed outside our house. It needs a bit of a water, but we've got Erigeron, we have Nepeta, which I added yesterday, that's catmint, some Erysimum, I want to say, some Bowls Mauve, that's a really lovely flower for the bees. The bees absolutely go crazy for this, and butterflies. And then we've got, I put moss inside of this, which is drying out, so I'm not sure whether we're going to have to replace that. We've got some sedum, different types of sedum, more Erigeron, another Erysimum,
White carnation.
more sedum, and I think these are carnations or dianthus. I'm not sure if that's the same thing. And then let's go across the street to the next one. Okay, this is another one across the street. We do need to finish painting this because we installed this one yesterday because it was a bit uneven. This one is looking a bit less healthy, I don't know.
Yeah, it's also got a bit of room.
I think we need to put another plant in here.
But it's basically the same, except we've got some English lavender in here as well.
Yeah, we've got some Hidcote lavender here. This original one I think isn't liking its life. I took it from my own garden. This one is fine. I think it needs more water again. Some more lavender here, which is it's going to flesh out quite nicely. Some more Erysimum, 2 of those. And then we'll move on to the next one. So this one is a really lovely cherry blossom tree. And on this one, we've planted more lavender. I think you can see the theme. We like purple whites.
It's purple and white colour scheme, and everything's very bee friendly.
Yeah, everything's bee friendly. That was the main goal. But yeah, this one has a really lovely cherry blossom top. This one's going to look really pretty. The same again. I think this is periwinkle, lavender, sedums, Erysimum. On to number, what was that, number 4 now? This one, yeah, this one's really cute. This one's tree number 4, I think. We've got some French lavender here, some more Erysimum, some more carnation, sedum, and some lavender. This one, I think the smaller they are, the cuter they look, because the flowers are quite full.
Yeah.
But again, we love this one. And then we're on to the last one at number 5. Also, this is what they looked like before. So you can just imagine, you know, what this one's going to look like when we probably go around to it. And then this one is absolutely ginormous. We need to get more Erysimum for this, Chad. The purple ones. Yeah. I think the purple one can go in here.
100%.
But again, it's all the same planting. So we've got some Nepeta, we've got some carnations, some lavender.
These lavender here are going to shrub up.
Yeah.
So they're going to group up, and there'll be a big batch of lavender, Erysium, lavender.
Yeah. And the nice thing about the lavender is you want to put it closer to where people walk, so when they sort of brush past it, they get the smell of it.
So even though it looks quite empty now, everything you see here will grow and grow quite quick.
Yeah.
Especially these. These just spread out.
They do spread, yeah. And again, bees love everything, so yeah. We'll probably give you, what, bi-weekly updates? And this was the goal for the street. So obviously we want it all to like look nice and pretty, like down the street. And when the flowers come out, I think it's going to look really, really pretty. But
we also have every neighbour now asking for it.
Right, I think we're going to sign this video off here and get to sunbathing. No, I'm joking. I need to go and edit this video together. So thank you all for watching. I hope you're having a lovely weekend so far. Next week is going to be really sunny, so hopefully we'll be out and about more next week as well. Again, I think I'm going to tell you guys that the next video is going to be Sunday. We're going to give this Thursday a skip. So I hope you're all okay with that. We're going to try it for a couple of weeks, but yeah, thank you so much for watching. We shall see you next week for another video.